Alright, losers. Today's review is on A. When it comes to anime specifically, I always do some research beforehand. Like looking at reviews and things like that. But by preparing myself in that manner, it's almost like a double edged sword. Seeing an anime get praised by the majority of the community will probably motivate me to watch the show. But in doing so, I adopt an opinion before I even watch the anime and come in with a skewed point of view. It's like wrapping your chode in a condom of expectations. Sure, you're preparing yourself for the experience, but in doing so, can you say you're really going in raw anymore? Both physically and mentally, if you catch my skeet. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you haven't watched the first episode of Wonder Egg, I thoroughly recommend that you watch that shit before seeing this review. Pause this video and open another tab and watch it. Then come back when you're done. Normally, I would talk about the characters first, but I honestly want to explain my thought process before and after watching the first episode because I went through like a roller coaster of emotions. Basically, I barely found out about Wonder Egg the day before the first episode came out, and it was by like complete chance. And seeing that the first episode was obviously gonna drop in just a day, I decided why not watch it, out of curiosity. But I wasn't really planning to do a video on it. So yeah, I read the plot synopsis and the picture I painted in my head was not even close to how the anime went. I thought it was going to be like a coming to age anime because of the plot and the slice of life tag. I imagined it going like, so what you're telling me is that I have an egg and you got an egg. I think that means something, doesn't it? I'm starting to feel I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel a connection between us. Is it just me? And I was content with that plot that I created in my head. So jump to the next day. The episode just dropped. You guys have to understand, I was sitting there fully bought into the concept that it was just going to be a cute anime where a bunch of moe girls become friends. Like completely sold into the product that it was just going to be a slow burner soft fest. The anime starts off just like how I thought it up. The main character is introverted and the voice even tells us that she wants a friend. So I was just there inflating my own ego, boasting about how much of an anime connoisseur I was, for being so ahead of the anime. And then this shit happened. So my dick was already huge from the self-inflation of my ego. And when that scene played out, my shit went through the roof. It completely caught me off guard. I thought this was gonna be like a cutesy slow burner. I wasn't expecting to see blood at all. Like, ain't this shit supposed to be illegal or something? This is a slice of life, right? But yeah, this ties in with what I said earlier because I came in completely candid and came out defiled in a good way. So I want you guys to experience the roller coaster that I went through because it made the first episode so entertaining to watch by just going in with a clean slate. But yeah, that's that. Now let's talk about the characters so far. For the main character, we have the immaculate introvert Oto I. Like no really. She takes this shit to like a whole other layer. She doesn't physically go to school and has her homework dropped off and doesn't seem like she has friends. But the anime gives us slight hints that there is a reason behind all of that. Other than that, though, there's nothing else I can confidently say about Oto because there's no solid detail about her character besides the subtle hints and dialogues here and there. The first episode is the embodiment of a really strong hook. It reveals enough about the characters and the plot to make sense and to take form, but it doesn't give any more than that, leaving us with a lot to wonder about and hungry for the next episode. There's a bunch of holes, but those holes are purposely created by the anime to be filled in at later episodes. So basically, TLDR, the first episode has a really nice balance of giving us just enough information to hold everything together, but leaves the right amount of detail to keep us pondering about what's going to happen next. But besides Ulta herself, there's no other characters I can really talk about. I know Kurumi and Kyoto were introduced in the first episode, and Kurumi herself had a decent amount of screen time, but even then, there wasn't enough details revealed about both those characters that I can use to talk about them in depth. So basically, yeah, the only character I can really talk about is Oto. and besides that, there's no one I can really talk about. Now for the animation. When it comes to anime, I am a sucker for the little stuff like dialogue and the sound, which could be the music or background noise. And due to that, in my opinion, one of the stronger points of the anime so far is the ambience that it creates with the scenery. Whether it's in the beginning where Otto is out at night or the end sequence where she's running to the arcade place. The animation of the background scenery plus the sound quality creates a very, very strong feel of immersion and makes the viewing experience feel like a fucking trip. But besides that, the characters have a very cutesy look to them, combining with a decent color palette. The show looks very vibrant in some parts. It reminds me a lot of shows like Darling in the Franxx and Bunny Girl Senpai, which would make sense seeing that Cloverwork did the animation for both those animes. Alright, now for the sound aspect of the anime. Like I said earlier, with the immersion that is created from just the background alone, the sound used during certain scenes is just the icing on the cake and completely sews everything together. Whereas music being played or room ambience in the background, the immersion in each scene is undeniable. Whether it's from the sound or the animation, the first episode will make your head bop or give you the tingles. But yeah, to summarize, the first episode really smacked, but I wouldn't say that it completely hit the ball out of the park. Due to how everything's presented, things can be quite confusing. When it comes to any anime that has heavy imagery or deals with psychological stuff, which Wonder Egg does, there is a very trippy feel to when certain scenes are shown, comparable to an anime like Serial Experiment Lane, where you can't really tell if it's reality or the main character is just imagining shit. For example, when Otto's friend Kyoto is introduced and the pacing and presentation everything gets all funky, a lot of people might find that as a turnoff due to how confusing it is, which is understandable, but I feel like if you can get past that by just pausing and reflecting on what you just witnessed, the confusing parts of the first episode isn't really an issue. And due to that, for my rating, because it takes off everything that I like from the unique plot to the immersion created by the animation and sound, and because I was able to digest the majority of the confusing bits, I'm gonna have to give it an 8 to 8.5. If the whole season was as good as the first episode, I would probably consider it in the higher 8 territory, but because it's only the first episode, I don't want to prematurely cream myself. So yeah, there are some parts that might not make much sense, but if you're able to understand and wrap your brain around the shit the anime presents, Wonder Egg Priority will definitely be a home run for you. But yeah, that's it. That's the review.
You talking all that slick shit on Twitter, bro. Drop your location. I'm about to pull up right now. I got my niggas with me. And they don't give a fuck about life. They don't care about nothing. These niggas don't even raise their kids. You think they give a fuck about your life, nigga? One of my niggas' mamas is dying, nigga. She dying. The other one ain't even seen his mama, nigga. So you better believe, nigga.